four beards and a Garrett. But
Hello, guys, and welcome to the Sprawl. Continuing to be an unnamed game at the moment, but I'm sure we will dig it up as time goes on. Um, we are short two right now. Blank Stare, aka Das Kid, is currently dealing with home issues, and we're still waiting for Gartert to get home as well. So it's just going to be the three of us for the moment. Um, I'm Steel Seraph. I am the GM of this game. I'm kind of a first timer at this, so go easy on me. And with me, I have VidWizard or Jim, depending on if I remember who's who, or as I will be referring to him in game, Max Impact, or probably just Max, because I'm a little bit on the lazy side to say both names. As well as Shane. Yeah, I don't have a character name for you yet, so you're still Shane until otherwise, or I could call you Shank, because I misspell all the time. And tell me about yourself. Feel free to go first, Jim.
Jim, VidWizard, 2Ds and Vid. You can find me here. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, local mall. Who knows? Just Google me. I'm not very well hidden. Government has my DNA, so people that are like, I'm being impressed by the man. I'm like, they took my DNA while I was in the military. I don't care. They want to listen on my phone call of, yes, honey, please buy oranges and milk. They're welcome to it. So, yes, I'll be playing the fixer named Max Impact because, I have a max impact on people. So, come on, Shane, you got to admit, that's a good name.
I think we have to say the full name. I think we can't let anyone get away with just saying Max.
Oh, so should we what? Maximum Impact?
I think it just has to be Max Impact. You can't just call you by your first name.
Oh yeah, you can't just call me Max.
No, it's got to be Max Impact.
Yeah, we'll see. Just like I'll be calling Jim's corporation Gekido Prime, I'm just going to be calling it GP, and all the employees thereof will be called Jeeps.
Jeeps.
So Shane, feel free to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about the character concept you're working on, and then I guess we'll dig into it until such time that Will and Garrett arrive.
I'm going to be playing the Pusher. That's me. I don't know. We'll see where the character concept goes. I've got a couple ideas that we can work with. Yeah. I'm not as magnanimous. I don't have all these online Twitter profiles, but mostly just because I'm lazy, not because I think anyone's going to be tracking me.
It's all good. I'm Steel Seraph everywhere, so it's pretty easy to find me. Right. So I sent you both a bunch of questions, as well as you had a bunch of things still to select in both of your playbooks. Jim, I know you said you were still picking on some things, but I might as well go through the basic stuff. So I'm going to skip the cyberware stuff until the very end. It helps if I have Trello open here. Right. Switch to the GM notes board. There we go. Excuse me while I burp. My drink of choice for the evening. Because I run on caffeine, and today I was just all thumbs. I knocked over an entire cup of coffee in my office. I knocked over an entire cup of soda at lunch. I've been on a roll today.
I feel you.
So, Jim, before I go directly into your character questions, kind of give me the basic idea of your fixer.
So the basic idea of my fixer is that I'm mixing a little bit of Face from A-Team with a whole lot of Wilfred Wolf from Pulp Fiction. You guys both familiar with Wilfred Wolf?
Mm-hmm.
It has been a little while.
And he's played by what's his name? He's the guy that comes in to clean up the headless body.
Oh, okay.
Talks fast, gets stuff done. Sharp dresser. Basically, he's a guy who gets shit done.
Nice.
That is kind of the basis of my character. Except there's a splash. There's a good portion of face from A-Team where a little charm and swagger and a little cockiness come in. So not quite as smooth as Mr. Wolf, but definitely working his way that way as he hones his skills.
So, knowing how fixers work, as a base move, you get, for lack of a better term, henchman. What's the actual term they give you?
Lackeys?
People. Well, it says hustling, so people who work for you. What are your 2 jobs your team does?
So I definitely have a hacker.
I mean, well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different choices: surveillance, debt collection, petty theft, deliveries, brokering deals, technical work, pimping, and addictive substances.
And what page is that on? I will read it out.
That is on page 76. Looks like that. Admittedly, that's a lot of text, but you know.
I'm going to grab the PDF real quick. 1 sec.
So, for everyone else, his move is called hustling. You have people who work for you in various ways. You start with 2 crew and 2 jobs from the list below. Between missions, choose a number of those jobs equal or to or less than your current crew, which would be 2 at the moment, and describe what each job is. At which time he would roll edge, of which he at 10 plus, he profits from each of the jobs. At 7 to 9, one of them is a disaster and you profit from the rest. At 6, everything goes foobar, and I get to make a move based on the disaster for each job. So,
if you can quickly tell me the page number again.
76. Starts on 76, goes to 77. So this will basically determine the kind of operations you want run in the background, and you've gone really zoomed in all of a sudden and backwards.
Or
just zoomed in.
Try to zoom out. Hold on. There we go.
There we go.
How's that look?
Much better.
Okay, let me hit 1 zoom in because I think I'm a little too far out. Stupid software.
Wow. You're always a little far out there, man.
Far out, man. Okay. 76. Looking at the page right now.
Yep. Should start with cyborg at the top, and the next section should be moves.
So one would be probably I'm going to say technical work and deliveries.
All right, so you have basically a courier group and basically like a black market gear shop, basically.
Sounds about right.
So deliveries is people hire you to transport things, and you have a driver who takes care of that. When you profit, you gain 1 cred. When there's a disaster, the delivery never arrives. Surprise, surprise. And then with technical work, you have a couple of techs whom you supply with work. Profit, you gain 1 gear. Gear in the brackets gear is basically a token for if you're in the mission and go, shoot, I need X item, then you can, and you have a gear on your character sheet, you can go, okay, I'm going to define that this gear is, I need a grappling hook, so I'm going to define this gear as, it's a grappling hook, it's a hand-tooled, crazy contraption grappling hook that my technical work crewmen, of which you're gonna, I'm gonna implore you to eventually name these two guys.
Girls. Yes, that's the Wilfred Wolf piece, is that some are attractive, some aren't, but I hire women.
Nice. And then you're gonna describe how that item was put together and was added to your repertoire of gear before you started on the mission. So nice. And then going from there, what is your one more move you're going to go for? Which is on the next page, you see a section labeled Choose One More, and that goes on to the page after.
Hold on, am I back on 70? What am I on? 77?
Yeah, 77 to 78.
Just one more. Oh, I see. Backup. Balls in the air.
And as you level up, which you'll gain through doing missions over time, you'll gain experience, and the experience you can pump back into your character. I think it's every 10 experience you can do a improvement. You'll be able to choose more of these, but as a start,
I think I'm going to go with chromed on this one and get a second piece of cyberware.
Nice. You're going very, very cyberware. So I get to ask the cyberware question again.
Yep.
Excellent. So, with those basics in mind, let's add that note here. Let's go into your past.
Well, so we bounce back and forth, so
Okay.
Shane's going to sit there all the time. Why don't we get Shane's
All right, Shane.
preliminary, and we'll kind of, A, B. That way he's not sitting here for an hour, and then I'm sitting there for an hour.
That's too logical. Like I said, first timer.
No, I'm just suggesting just for an entertainment value, so that we're all getting to participate.
What is this participation nonsense?
Do I get a trophy?
Yes, you do get a trophy and one of those little ribbons.
I actually asked that exact same question to my ex-wife. What is this participation thing that you're talking about?
Exactly. All right. Shane, tell me about your pusher.
Yeah. Okay, so my idea was that the guy kind of based it off of is the main character from American Psycho.
Interesting.
You've seen that movie.
I have seen it.
Smooth on the outside, like first impression comes off as put together, but there's a mix of crazy deep in there, especially when things start to not go right.
Interesting. So let's look at your pusher stats here. So, what move did you choose under vision? Or vision thing, technically, is the section. You've got to choose one more section on page 100. Believers, Bring It Home, Chromed, Famous, Inner Circle.
Yeah, I liked the two I liked were Rabble Rouser and Silver Tongue.
All right. Interesting. Okay, so which one are you going for?
I'll take Silver Tongue. I like that one.
Silver Tongue. All right. So
Yeah.
you're going to be the very much talker of the group here. Max Impact will be fixing things in the foreground, or in the background, and you'll be fixing things in the foreground, basically.
My concept
Right.
might have to. My concept may morph a little bit as we've developed the characters, so it's
Yeah.
fair.
Yours is pretty straightforward. I haven't discussed directives with you guys yet, but that's also been a good one. But I think directives might be more fun when we've got everybody here. So I'm also can't wait to do links, but we need all 4 players to do links. So I got to work with what I got here. Let's do the fun one then. Since yours was pretty easy on the base level, I'm actually going to hit you first with your questions. And start with the big one for a pusher. The pusher by default, as it goes... Let's see, I got to go back to my regular board here. Pusher. By definition, the pusher wants to change the world, one mind at a time. So, actually, I should probably also ask, what's your character's name?
I was hoping you were going to ask that. I don't have a character name yet.
Okay, so you will be
my
nameless
homework.
for the time being. So the new question then
I don't want to outpace our game.
All right, so tell me, once I can go back to my GM notes, how is everyone else wrong?
So my character is just really anti-space. Doesn't think we should be exploring space. Thinks that any space progress we have made should be like reverted. Thinks that it's just all bad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What? Well, actually, that comes later, I believe, if I remember correctly. Save. Yeah, moment of revelation. So, for the good of your goal, who did you betray?
Like which company?
Could be company, person.
I was going to go with the company that we talked about, Alpha X. I think that
Hmm.
makes the most sense since I'm so anti-space that somewhere in the past they hired me for something and then I was like, nope.
Do you want to explore that further, or should I save it and come back to it?
I mean, I could get into it. My concept was that the group, we didn't really go over the group, is that I work for like an advertising firm that has a similar goal. And mine was my concept. And so they kind of try to like subtly change internal business practices this way. But what I was going to say is that my first job was with Alpha X, being like working with their advertising department, and I got exposed to some of the stuff they did that wasn't quite as, on the up and up. And so that's where it all kind of started. And then I found this group.
And then what did you do on your way out that is the betrayal for Alpha X?
Yeah, so my idea was that I had like stolen some of the information that I had it wasn't like given to me, right? I kind of stumbled upon it and took it, and I've been slowly trying to like leak it out without them figuring out that it's me, but they're kind of like hot on my trail.
Ha! I have a feeling that's going to be part of Links then. That's going to be probably your first job. What do you do to get what you want? And what happens to the ones that refuse you?
Yeah, so when I was looking through the character sheet, I kind of liked some of the options were like picking violence, maybe when it's necessary or not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, when people disagree with my goal, things can go bad. I'm one of those people that puts my ends way, or like the ends way before the means. Like anything's justified as long as we're making forward progress.
All right. What corp wants to buy your silence?
I mean, I guess it would be Alpha X, whether it's by buying it with money or,
Now,
getting me 6
would
feet
it be
under.
Alpha X, or maybe, let's see here, who would also be working with them? Maybe Tepco Dow wants to buy your silence because they're trying to use Alpha X's space program to further their
like
strip mining
asteroid
operations.
mining or something. Yeah. That'd work.
Wants to use space for strip mining. I like it.
Don't forget we have one more company in there you haven't added yet.
Yes, I will add that clock. I'll probably add that clock actually in links when we start. It's documented, but the clock will start once we actually. You'll probably do a mission against it.
Well, yeah, they're gonna tie into some of my answer backgrounds here shortly. So
Yeah. I have a feeling I know the answer to this one, but where or what city district do your ideas fall silent?
Well, I kind of had two like alternate thoughts. I thought it would be like the extremes. I thought the really rich would be against my ideas because they're using it to get rich. But
Hmm.
like the people in extreme poverty probably just are indifferent. Like they're not anti my ideas. They're just kind of this doesn't really relate to me.
So you hit the middle, whereas the green
Yeah.
zone people and the slum people are just like whatevs.
Well, but I would think the green zone people would probably be like, "Shut up! Like we wanna strip mine this stuff." But the red zone people are just they
Well,
don't they don't care if we're in space or not.
the way I see green zones is basically that's the high security. The 1% lives behind the wall that starts green zones where they can live their pristine
Yeah,
lifestyles,
yeah.
and then anything outside the green zones is basically not quite lawless, but
hey,
much
Shane, lean back to your
less
right.
regulated. What? Oh, yeah.
I was getting a little.
He was slowly walking out of frame.
Awesome. So, what was your moment of revelation? And where did you decide to
Uh,
lead rather than follow?
so I think the moment of revelation was he was fresh out of future college or training or whatever and got his first job working in the like propaganda department of Alpha X. And then during that work, he was like either staying late one night or like was on some sort of like computer system getting ready for a project and inadvertently came into contact with just a bunch of files and documents documenting all of the shady stuff that Alpha X was doing, or the stuff they weren't exactly publicizing. Um, and that was just too much for him, and that was just a downward spiral from there into his extreme hatred of the space programs of any kind.
So, what about the space program did Nameless find that incited him to be like, no, we can't do this anymore?
I think it depends. We never really established how much like space stuff is going on,
Feel free to establish
uh,
it.
but
I
I
would
think it's probably
assume probably Mars level and probably Moon level and various orbits thereof. Maybe asteroid
uh,
mining is probably the furthest extent, but that would be it.
yeah. I think on the like most practical level is probably his like realization of the like capacity for the weaponization of space. Um, that's probably
So
developing very quickly at this point.
you probably stumbled on a space or an Alpha X um, planning document of, let's say,
Well, like
using weaponizing asteroids.
weaponizing asteroids or like the giant satellites that shoot down huge like metal beams that can crack
Ooh,
like tectonic plates and all that kind of stuff. Whether Alpha X is actually doing that or it's a proof of concept was, he didn't.
I'm gonna
We can
note
maybe
that one.
believe. Yeah,
Excellent. I like that idea.
the program was titled Rods from God.
Ooh, edit program title. Excellent.
And since he found this group, he's gotten a lot more like philosophical about it. Like he has a
Yeah.
bunch of, but that was his like moment of like, oh shit, we thought nuclear weapons were bad. This is way worse.
So I will come back to you with the cyberware questions because that's gonna round
Mhm.
out your character and go over to Jim or Max, as it were, because I have to keep remembering to use your characters.
Hello.
Max, what company did you screw over?
By the way, I really think Shane should pick the name Michael Hunt.
Michael Hunt.
Yeah.
I don't
Nice
because of the shortened version of that.
Well, no, I mean we had Ethan Hunt in my, in Mission Impossible, and I think Michael Hunt. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Now say it together where you say Mike.
Okay, Michael Hunt.
No. Remove the O, and then you'll understand.
Michael Hunt.
Remove everything after Mike.
Okay, Hunt.
No, everything after Mike.
Okay, Mike
And the last name.
Hunt.
Yes. Now say them together.
Okay, Michael Hunt.
Without... I'm going to stab you in the face. So no.
I wonder how long I can keep you going on this.
Stab you in the face.
That's
With
why I
your
said
face.
Michael and not Mike. I knew what it was going to be.
Yes, I know.
Waiting for Shane to stumble over it, you numbskull.
Oh, I got it. I didn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
But I
hard?
really was thinking Ethan Hunt when I started it, and I was like, we need a different first name. And I came to Mike, and I'm like, oh yeah, like, that's actually kind of funny.
Well, what was the name of the... I forget the actual name of Christian Bale's character in...
I think it's like Patrick Bateman or something.
Yeah. Although Patrick's such a unusual name.
Yeah.
What is your... Doesn't Pusher actually have a name section? Oh, no, it doesn't. It
I
used
think it
to.
does.
Actually, the character sheet, I think, does. The playbook does, doesn't
Yeah. Gives me a couple suggestions.
it? The Sprawl. Playbooks. Infiltrator, Killer, Pusher.
Man, are the pushers supposed to just be strippers? Like
I don't know. Apparently, I'm supposed to be a pimp.
Chalice is a name?
Yeah, I had Hub.
Thanks.
Was one of the suggestions for mine was Hub.
Pushers are kind of supposed to be like religious, almost religious figures.
Oh, he's very fanatic in his belief about staying on Earth. So
Could always be Reverend Jim and walk around going, oh, good dog.
Oh, they're the names: Apostle, Chalice, Dancer,
yeah,
Dylan Vicara.
Ice Smooth.
See, I got a gregarious name, Max Impact. So you said you're coming back to me with questions? Yes, no?
Yes, I am coming back to you with questions. I am coming back to you with the questions I am supposed to ask you, which now I can't find my page because I have like too many things open here.
I went to make a cup of the Nectar of the Gods while you guys were talking, so.
Aha! Depends on what you consider the nectar of the gods.
Coffee.
I'm drinking the artificial version of that.
Totally okay. I'm good with that.
So, tell me about what company you screwed over and how you screwed them over.
I screwed over the Rytel Corporation. Or, sorry, Rytel Cybernetics.
You mean Ritello?
Rytel. It's an arm, not a letter.
Yeah, I know, but
It's an
that's
arm.
that's how it lines up. It becomes Ritello.
It does not become Ritello. That's an arm.
Yeah, but it's an arm with an O in it.
No, it's not. It's an oval. It's a bicep, maybe. But anyway, by the way, just so you know, that the Rytel Cybernetics is a nod to the Tyrell Corporation from
I figured.
Blade Runner.
Yep. So tell me how you screwed them over.
I have a pair of their eyes that they want back.
Awesome. That's going to get explored in your cyberware question.
Basically, I have a pair of prototype eyes.
Nice.
We can determine what they do differently, or what their advantage or disadvantage is.
Well, I mean, they kind of... Let's see if we go back to where you are. Fixer is before Hunter because it's alphabetical. You have all the options under Cyber Eyes, so it'll be pretty interesting to explore that. You get 3 options on that list, so
Right.
we shall see.
Right. I'm just saying that it doesn't have to be mechanically changing the game somehow,
Yeah.
but for some reason they are a prototype that I effectively acquired.
Interesting.
And we can. I could go into a backstory of. Basically, I went in to get new cybernetic eyes and managed to do a little have my guys do some, jiggering so that the pair of eyes that ended up going into my head they thought was a standard pair of eyes, and it wasn't till I had left the building that they suspected they might have given me the wrong eyes. Like, they don't have proof, or they just come get them, but they suspect that I walked out with them.
Why is this not loading?
Or they suspect that I ended up with them.
Interesting. So you are going to be hunted, and that is going to make life fun. So, on that same note about corporations, which of your lackeys is a liability you can't replace?
Janine.
Now, which side is Janine working for? The delivery side or the tech side?
Tech side.
And,
why do you think I still have my eyes?
True. And what corporation's breathing down their neck?
Breathing down their neck?
Yes.
Oh, let me look at our corporate list here. I'm going to say Keto Prime, GP.
So why are they a liability?
They don't, so they're a liability, they're still an asset, but there's also a liability involved. So
yes, so they are a risk for you to have in your crew, but you can't live without them because they're the ones who make all your stuff.
Right. So I'll say they're probably a liability because Gakito's got an open warrant on them for an open warrant on her for hacking into their system.
Interesting.
Like, she very rarely comes out to see the light of day. She works out of she's probably got like an RV or something that, little like 2-man RV she works out of.
She hack GP4.
What'd she hack GP for?
Yeah.
She was probably looking for records on one of their Black Ops missions. Maybe it involved a family member of hers, and she was trying to find out what really happened, and she basically got caught digitally, but not physically.
Would have thought maybe she might be hunting for new weapon specs to build.
Yeah, probably not. Probably just, she's more of the, she works on the tech side of the house, so she's not.
Yeah, tech side in this game is actually the people who make and build stuff.
Really?
That's the tech playbook as well.
Oh.
That's why when you do a tech job, you get gear.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, maybe she was trying to hack in. Let's say maybe she was trying to hack in to get their latest, cool new toy, and got caught.
So, prototype weapon specs. I like that. I can see GP having a arms and munitions division that makes interesting weapons for conducting wars in weird nations. So, where do you keep your contact lists, and how are they secure?
I keep them in my head.
So you've got a completely by memory, or is it actually a partition in your head?
It's a part. I'm going to have the neural interface with data storage. It's actually a partition in my head.
So someday someone's going to try and crack that brain of yours.
Well, it's an inaccessible partition and encrypted, so.
It's amazing what corporations with infinite amounts of money can do.
True.
But on that same note, who haven't you paid back?
Who haven't I paid back?
Yep.
Now the question is it a person, or is does it be a person, a company, or have you either?
It can be either. I would probably aim for person.
You know what? I'm gonna make this fun. I'm gonna say it's Shane's character. That I owe Shane some money. I had a job that he hired me to help fix a job. It didn't go as planned, and we agreed he'd get a refund.
I am gonna put a feather in that one for the time being, and say you have one more that is not a player character, because we'll go back to that one when we do links.
Oh.
It can be anyone.
We're gonna say that it is that I owe money to Grandma Jones. She's a local elderly lady who happens to also be a narcotics and tech narcotic dealer.
I think I could see her as being both a physical narcotics and a digital narcotics dealer.
Right, exactly. She does both. And she's also a great source of information. And I didn't have all the scratch I needed last time I bought information from her, so I still owe her a little bit. Not enough that she's like hunting me, but enough that I can't get any more information or use her until I pay her.
Yep. I will happily let you put Grandma Jones down as a contact. I can't promise she'll be forthcoming without you paying her, but
totally fair.
There might be a minus.
She's a local town. Like everybody in the neighborhood knows her as Grandma Jones. They don't even know what her first name is.
So, in game, when you do create a contact, which is a move everyone gets once per mission, you'll roll. Oops. You'll roll. What's the word I'm looking for? I believe it's style, if I remember correctly, and that'll determine whether they'll just be forthcoming with the information and it'll cost 2 credits, or you'll be able to pick, and one of the picked options is favor. And until you do that favor, you're at a minus to ever use them again. So I have a feeling you'll be sitting on a minus forward until you pay up to Grandma Jones there. And I'm going to actually start some music going here because...
Well, let me look at my character sheet here.
There should be a contact section.
Well, I was looking to see what my style is. My style is 2.
Where are my character sheets? Am I not seeing character
sheets? So you would roll like...
Yep. Oh, that would be a very spectacular failure.
Wow. Wait, 1 plus 2 plus...
2 would be 5, which 6 and below is a failure. So,
really? Oh wow, 1 and 2, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very bad failure. So that's a good one to see.
Where's that picture coming from, by the way?
In your character sheet, at the upper left. I actually need to refresh my game window. You'll have a link there.
In the game window, character sheet. I'm on character sheet. I see my name.
Right by your name, there's a link option. Maximum.
Nope.
Character sheet. Image URL. See on the far right in the upper right hand corner where it says broadcast?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, replace that with whatever image you're intending to use for your character, or nothing if the case may be.
Oh, I'll find a picture.
There we go. Now I have character sheets again. So...
Well, that, by the way, was just a test roll to see how it looked.
Yep. And I believe it's style. I'd have to go back and look to be specific. Actually, I should have in my handouts... Declare contact. That's the one I wanted to see. No, it's in the first player moves. Hit the street. You'll, when you go to a contact, roll style. 7+, you get what you want. 10+, you get a little something extra. Choose either intel or gear. And 7 to 9, choose 2 from the list below. Your request is going to cost you extra. Your request is going to take some time to put together. Your request is going to attract unwanted attention, complications, or consequences. Or your contact needs you to help them out with something. If you turn them down, take -1 ongoing to this move till you make it right. So I won't necessarily give you -1 ongoing for every contact, as this would be if you welch out on them, but I will give you a -1 when you are dealing specifically with this contact.
So I pay him.
Yeah. Until you paid it off, and I will say a reasonable amount would be you owe them 5 cred. Which is about theoretically you could get 9 cred in a mission, but it would make the mission hard. You'll likely get 6 cred, so it would take most of your mission profits away. Actually, it would take all of your mission profit away because you actually have to stake cred every mission to make cred. The way a mission works is you'll put in a X amount of cred that you have, 1, 2, or 3. 1 and 2 doesn't change the mission, but everyone who stakes more than 2 will start advancing the legwork and action clock, so it just makes the mission that much harder. Because cred is both money and reputation, basically, hence the name. So you're kind of staking reputation on doing the mission. So, moving on with you, who do you call when shit hits the fan?
Ghostbusters? Sorry. That's an excellent question. Let me noodle on that. Is that the last question right now?
That is the second to last question before I will switch back to Shane and start talking about his extensive amount of cyberware.
What's the last question?
The last question is, what piece of information do you wish you could forget?
Really? Because I have on my list, I have what debt do you owe them?
Yeah, well, what day do you owe them goes back to who do you call. I did not add this one to that list on the other.
And what is it?
What piece of information do you wish you could forget? There we go. Update the questions.
I'm adding right now. I'm going to say the truth about one of the player characters' parents, like, because either Garrett or Will or even Shane there is going to end up picking, parents are dead, and I know how they really died versus what they think they know, and I really wish I could forget it.
I'm gonna laugh wholeheartedly if nobody is orphans right now.
If nobody's orphaned, I'll change it.
Okay, so for time being, I'll leave it as knows a PC's parents' death. Cause.
True death. True method of death.
True death cause. Okay.
Yep.
We will fill in that APC's answers. What? Where did it go? Oops. That doesn't go there. That goes in comments.
I want to do some thinking on it.
All right. So now we go to the fun time of. Going back to our cyberware questions. I haven't even touched directives, and that'll be another fun one to deal with. So, you ended up taking, if I go to notes here, that is my Pusha. So you ended up taking Silver Tongue, so you don't have extra cyberware, you have one. Tell me what you chose.
I picked the cybercoms.
Nice. And with those cybercoms, which two add-ons tags did you take?
I picked the tags encrypted and satellite relay.
I am amused by the fact that you are anti-space, and you have a space-based cyber.
Yeah, maybe satellite relay. Well, I was thinking about this. It seems like satellites may just be like too integrated, but
Yeah.
we could also pick something different. That might make more sense. Because he's not anti-technology.
I just find amusing that you're... I almost like that as like a hidden part of your character. As much as you are anti-space, you still use space technology.
Sure, yeah, we can kind of use the tools to take it down.
So, on that regard, why did you get part of your body cut out and replaced with electronics?
So my thought process was that after I left Alpha X and found this new advertising company, once I started working there, part of the deal with working there is that the other half of it is just advertising, but the other half is like, when we find corporations that we think are doing a good job, we try to help them in like corporate espionage.
Mm-hmm.
So our company, like, to be in the inner circle, you kind of have to give up part of yourself and adopt this.
So you did it for career purposes then?
Yeah.
So what is the name of your smaller prodigy company, whatever it is?
I don't know. I gotta think of an advertising company name. I'll come up with something slick.
Advertising company. I could see it as being like a big AR thing. They're the brand at the bottom of all the AR ads that says this is a X company product. So,
well, I was really more thinking like this was a company that like large companies would call in to do some sort of like extra propaganda work or extra like when they're unrolling a new product, they would like contact us, kind of like Mad Men style.
Mm-hmm. So, on that same regard, did you augment yourself willingly, or did the corp force them on you?
So my idea was that like it was a requirement to be like to move from like one of just like the ground level lackeys of this advertising company to like move up in the hierarchy. You kind of had to do this. So like I did it under my own volition, but it was because that was like a requirement.
So a little column A, a little bit column B.
Yeah, they didn't hold me down, but it was very clear that if I didn't do this, I would just stay in the like grunt work section of it.
How did you afford to have someone cut out your part of your body and replace it with electronics?
Oh, it's definitely also like the group owns you as well. Like it's very much a one-way sort of deal.
So I can see this company you're building being a sub company of someone else. Which company do you think owns that advertising company? You may not even realize it, but
hopefully not Alpha X. That'd be real sad.
That'd be hilarious.
Alpha X also owns this company, and it's all a long con against me.
Well, something I was also talking about with you was the possibility of linking Shinhan with a media company like Sony or something else.
I did a little.
Go for it.
I did a little research, and they're one of the bigger Japanese like media companies is called Avex. So I thought it'd be cool to have like Shinvex as a company.
Ooh.
Yeah, and have them be more focused on both the financial and then the media aspect, and a little bit less of some of the like stuff we talked about last time. Because I think the idea of like a really boring financial company paired with like a really like exciting like entertainment company is just kind of hilarious.
Nice. So I can see instead of I built Shinvex Media Corp as the potential replacement there.
That works.
I could see that where they are money and like all forms of media, and then they might still have the subcontract for the general goods and other stuff, but they might link with TEPCO DAO on making that stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's funny. The unfortunate problem of Garrett's company with Genetifics is it's its own island of a company. I'm trying to figure out how best to network it into the machinations of all the rest of the groups, but I can see it as having its own propaganda department and everything that's kind of maybe subtly trying to fight with Shinvex.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so where's my notes here? Someone else paid for it. Shinvex owns, or advertising company is a wholly owned subsidiary of Shinvex. Plus owned by Shinvex. Good to know. Which I'm going to go to your character on the Trello board and just give you a nice... oops, I got to change this name now. Shinvex. Save. Boop. You now have a little blue tag.
Nice.
And Shinvex Media Corp. Whoa. Someone looks really fancy there. All right. So now I know who vaguely pulls your strings. Excellent. Now I go to our ever favorite fixer. And remember where in the alphabet F is, because heaven forbid I know where the heck it is.
I usually find it right before you.
Yeah, I know. So,
That's fun.
You picked chromed, so you have 2 sets of cyberware.
Right.
I know on the start, let's go back to my notes here. You chose Cyber Eyes to start with.
Mm-hmm.
Of which, tell me about the tags you picked on them.
I believe that I got thermographic, thermographic light amplification.
So you never want to be caught in the dark.
Right. And then recording.
Recording. Nice.
And then I took the neural interface with data storage with unacceptable partition and encrypted.
Interface, data storage. So you're inaccessible, partition, and encrypted? Got it. Encrypted. So those tags actually have defined game characteristics. I don't know if you looked them over that much.
I did not look them over that much, but I'm sure they do.
If I can find them here.
I'm sure some of them are like bonuses, demographic, and light applications, probably bonuses depending on condition, that type of thing. And I found a better picture for my max impact in Twitch, or in Roll20.
Yeah, I saw your picture. Unless you posted a new one.
No, I grabbed the...
So let's see here. Neural interface. Oh, tags. There we go. So inaccessible partition. It has a courier mode in which the implantee can't access the data being recorded, stored, or transmitted.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted... so let's do encrypted instead. Encrypted and we'll do encrypted at high capacity, because I was thinking other people couldn't access it. I need to be able to access my own data. So we'll say encrypted at high capacity. Encrypted
is it's resistant to hacking. I must make a move to subvert the encryption before making a move to hack the cybernetic device.
Right, that's good.
And then you went for high speed or
high capacity.
high capacity. High capacity greatly increases the storage capacity of the device. This is useful for storing, uploading, and transporting large quantities of complex data. You'll be able to loot more pay dirt from corporate archives and locally store more recorded data, which pay dirt doesn't really do you much good because you're not a hacker, but I'm sure we can work the high storage in somehow. Or high capacity, rather.
Well, maybe we can. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's the trick for my the eyes is that it actually will record straight into my high capacity storage.
Yep, that makes perfect sense. So going back to your cyber eyes, just for your reference, thermographic, obvious, allows you to see heat patterns in the infrared spectrum. Light amplification allows you to see well even with weak light sources. And recording, you can record the data processed by the device. Large quantities of data might require high capacity storage, so it works in your favor.
Right.
I'm going to go back just for you, Shane, and confirm it over... Did I? Where is it? Okay. Cybercoms. You went encrypted. We already went over. And satellite relay. The cyberware can be controlled remotely by someone else. This tag is often installed as a backdoor by micromanaging corporations.
That actually makes sense.
Nice. I like this one. All right. So, going back to the cyberware questions, let's start with your cyber eyes.
Okay.
Why did you get part of your body cut out and replaced with electronics?
Well, my current pair of cyber eyes, I will say, were an upgrade from my old cyber eyes. My old cyber eyes were a replacement for eyes that were, shall we say, acquired or lost in a debt.
So, necessity, probably, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm going to go for the replacement. Your replacement cyber eyes are probably due to enthusiasm.
Right.
You found these special hot rod cyber eyes.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Janine found that the Rytel Cybernetics had this prototype eyes that they were going to be testing soon, and I managed to basically hack my way onto the list to look like their test subject or to be their test subject to get them, and then basically walked out and kept them.
So that pretty much answers the how you afforded them. You are plus hunted by Rytel. Actually, I'm going to make a slight change of that. Rytel's not hunting you. Rytel put a hit on you. GP is hunting you.
Oh joy. One of my cats is, I have my foot up on a little box under my desk. One of my cats is standing on my foot entirely, all four paws on my foot, and is biting my big toe right now.
Nice.
Not hard, but just like chewing on my big. Stop it. She's like, ding dong, where'd you go?
Trace put out by Rytel. Okay. So,
by GP.
Yep, for different reasons. So, why did you get the neural interface installed?
I started my career as a data courier.
So, career. Started out as a data courier.
You're so silly. What are you doing under there? Ow. Stop clogging it. Dang it.
So, how did you afford it?
Worked it off. Worked for the company that initially installed it to do data courier deliveries.
Okay, so going back to the three options you have. Whoa, I'm getting an echo here.
From me?
It might have been from you. It's gone now. So, You scrimped and saved to buy it yourself. Choose one tag to apply to that piece of cyberware. Unreliable, substandard, hardware decay, or damaging. Second option, someone else paid for it. Now you owe them. You're owned. Choose who owns you. Or third, as with the previous one, you fuck someone over to get it. You're hunted. Describe who you double-crossed.
I don't like any of those.
Those are your options.
What do the different tags do?
All right, let's go back to the tags here.
I don't like any of those. Those suck.
Welcome to getting into the world.
Hi, baby.
All right, in order, unreliable. Sometimes it doesn't work. Substandard. It works, but not as well as it should. Hardware decay. It works now, but it's just a matter of time. And damaging. Sometimes it hurts like hell, and eventually it will do permanent nerve damage.
What do you think, Shane? And which one would you pick?
Uh,
Your top two.
I mean, I'd pick owned, but that's just me.
I'm already hunted. I don't want to be owned as well.
Owned just means
Yeah.
they're going to come out every once in a while and be like, hey, we need a favor.
I mean, I picked owned, but that was my top choice. But if you're going with those, I don't know, I like the idea of damaging where it's like super cool, but every once in a while there's a price to pay for it.
I'm kind of leaning towards either decay or damaging. I think the damaging, just like ever so often, you know, I go to access my contact list and I'm just like, mother pus bucket.
So you're going to go with damaging?
Yeah, I think I'll do damaging. I like
Alright.
I like Shane's logic there. I think it's got some cool flavor to it to add to the game. It gives me something fun to run with.
Cool. So let's do that.
And I want us to be different. I don't want us to just be like everybody's owned or everybody's, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's the fun part is all that does is integrate you into the story, not necessarily link things together in any sort of way.
Well, by being damaging, it also kind of makes sense that, I've had that's the piece I've had the longest.
Yeah.
It's at this point, I've had it long enough that, I need to get it upgraded and replaced. And
Well, I also like the dichotomy of you have the latest hot shit Cyber Eyes whilst also having a box in the back of your head that's trying to kill you. And may eventually kill you.
yeah, seems fair.
Okay, so that covers all of our basic questions.
Janine does have
here.
instructions if my head explodes to save the eyes. Just saying.
If your head explodes, there's probably not going to be much left of the eyes.
Well, they should survive. I don't think
Yeah.
the box will do that much damage, but they'll pop out, so she can just find them and recover them.
Yeah, provided how damaging that box is. Oh, it does nerve damage. It does nerve damage. Oh, it explodes.
That's my point. Is like depends entirely on how damaging, how much damage. I mean, she's under directions to try to save the eye. I didn't say she would pull it off.
Ah,
I'm just
okay.
basically like when I leave, I'm like, Janine, if my head explodes this week, don't forget to pick up the eyes. It's a running gag with me and her.
Well, I was hoping, now that I've gone through most of the question, that our two other players would show up. But it seems like I have to move on to the next more fun section for both of you is directives. So directives are a way you guys both gain experience. You'll gain them for completing successful tasks within a mission. There's usually about 4 to 5 in those missions. But directives are going to be little kinks in the road that will maybe complicate the mission further because they are things your character is more leaning towards. The options for pusher, you don't have to stick to the 4 they give you in the playbook. You're welcome to use any. The 4 just sort of fit in. But your options are financial, hierarchic, rejected, or violent. With financial, it's...
Mine's a little different.
Yeah, I'm reading pushers first, because I'm going to go for Shane, because I last did you.
No, that's fine. I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you said our options.
Yeah, so the pushers options. Financial, when you hinder the mission for a chance at extra profit, mark experience. Hierarchic, when you improve your standing or impair a rival's among X group, insert here, presumably either your advertising company or maybe your burgeoning fellowship of anti-space personnel, mark experience. Rejected, when your former membership in, I guess, Alpha X employment hinders the mission, mark experience. Or violent, when you deliberately choose to use violence to overcome a problem when a non-violent option exists, mark experience. So, tell me about... You don't have to choose those. There are probably about a dozen more you can go through. Tell me which ones you are looking at, and I will probably ask questions about them.
Yeah, I'm definitely choosing violent.
Yeah, I figured as much considering what you said.
Yeah. And I think the other one I wanted to choose was hierarchical. I like the idea that like he's really pushing to get to the top to try to achieve this goal that he has.
There's hierarchic. Okay. So let's add a new card to yours. Directives. Okay. So, when you improve your standing or impair a rival's standing among what?
Well, we either need to come up with a rival like advertising group, or it can be Alpha X, or
well, it's within your own.
Rival.
It's within your own group's hierarchy, so it'd be your own. It's like a rival in your.
Okay. Well, then I think what would be kind of cool is like if inside of this advertising company there were like two like factions that were competing. One of them was this like in group of people who were working to push the like anti-space, and the other one was like more of the Shinvex like corporate stooge side who were like coming from like that half of the company.
Aha. All right. So, would you sell out close friends to improve your standing in the advertising company?
How close? How much standing am I going to get?
Say it would move you up a level closer to the top of the chain if you sold out basically your brother.
My brother? Ooh, that's a tough choice. Is my brother, is he a space fan, or is he not a space fan?
Assume he's not a space fan.
He probably gets sold out. He's not a true believer anyway.
So yes, you would. Interesting.
Well, you know, if he's a true believer, then maybe he doesn't get sold out.
I'm gonna explore when you start creating contacts because who would you never betray, even if it means lowering your standing?
I don't know.
Don't worry, we will.
Is this part of our like? Is this part of our linking stuff, or is
No,
it supposed to be someone outside of our
this
group?
is someone outside the group.
All right. Gonna need to come back to that one. I don't have.
No worries, it's all good.
Don't have it.
All right, so the next one is violence, or violent, rather. Violent. When you I'm looking forward to exploring this one too. I'm gonna watch. Will is gonna make the most level-headed killer, and you're gonna be like, "No, I'm gonna fucking kill him."
Killing's not my specialty. I just that extra time of having to like not kill them can be annoying.
Or you're just gonna turn to Will and be like, kill this fucker.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. What bad memory swirls up when you lash out?
A bad memory rolls up.
And to add to it, who gave it to you?
I think it was he grew up in a pretty affluent household. Not like top 1%, but like he's working in the corporate world now, so
Yeah.
he grew up like that. But I think that he had those parents who like nothing was ever good enough. Like they liked him. It wasn't like he was like mistreated, but it was always that like expectations were always higher than he could achieve, and nothing was ever good enough for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they kept like progressively hiring like more and more like tutors to try to like get him into that like next level of like school, and it like progressed to the point where like they would start burning through them so fast that they ended up like going through all the good ones and trying to trying more and more extreme things to get him to like study harder and to like succeed.
So what was the name of your last tutor?
My last tutor? I don't have cool sci-fi names.
Doesn't need to be cool sci-fi. This is still just relative future.
Relative future.
Hold on, where's my... Oh, I don't have my Pixel with me, which has my name generator on it.
Yeah, I need a name generator.
Hold on. I will be right back. 1 second. Mad skills.
We didn't exactly take a quick break, so.
Ooh.
John, you want to take a quick You want to take a quick 2 minute and let us tinkle?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do say 10 minutes to stand up, stretch, think of some cool names. Generally relax for a minute or two, and I will put some music on here and come up with a... I need to duplicate this thing. So, mad skills while I'm waiting here. Be right back. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Duplicate. Oops, no, hold on, this one. Off that one. And transition. I guess it helps if I have audio going too. Once
Someone
again,
thought
welcome
tennis
back.
was more important than Sprawl. Come on.
People want to do naming for the Sprawl, but I will do Directus first, and then we can go into naming.
Apparently, somebody's muted, according to Fig.
One of the robots was muted. I did not mute the robot, and I am seeing stuff from the robot, so I am not sure what's going on, Fig.
Is local mute?
Yeah, I'm confused by that one. Not going to worry about it for the time being. Hopefully we will get Will in here shortly. Fingers crossed. So we're going on. We're about digging into hour 2. Hopefully we can get through another hour, but I think we'll be mostly done shortly anyway.
I don't have another hour. It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, my theoretical aim is to get 3-hour games in, so we might have to adjust playtimes accordingly, but we'll see how we can build things out as the case may be. Fig, I think Jim is doing just fine. He's got a band-aid on his finger now, so he's good.
For those at home, I managed to take that and poke it into my finger as I was doing this to close it. I had my finger here, and went and stuck it with the end of the thing.
You get minor applause. All right.
Hey, that takes a special kind of talent to close a knife on your finger.
Been there, done that.
I mean,
although
thank you for the check, but if I was spurting blood, I'm not sure I'd still be spurting blood by the time you got here.
Admittedly, my worst was I was holding a knife in my hand like this, and then I used those hands to prop myself up onto a counter, and in the process dug it about half an inch into my leg. So that was fun.
I think my worst, I was trying to pit an avocado, and I didn't have a big knife, I had a little knife. And so instead of coming in this way and twisting, I was like, I'm just gonna stab and pop.
Ooh. Ow.
Yeah,
Ow.
Just right in.
There you go. He does have access to a helicopter.
That would be a long helicopter trip from Maine, though.
Is he in Maine? Are you in Maine now? I thought he was in,
Oh, he's in Maine.
Wow. So my worst... Okay. Knife wound? My worst puncture wound. I'll go with my worst puncture wound. I was helping my grandfather. I was about 11 years old, helping my grandfather clean up his farm, his acreage. We were running around getting old wood and stuff because he was starting a bonfire. And 11-year-old Jim loved fire. So I'm running all over trying to find stuff to add to this bonfire. I go behind this old shack and I jump down to get some trash. When I jump down, I feel a pinch on my foot. I'm like, ow. And I pick my foot up and the board I'm standing on comes up with it. And I'm like, what the? And I look down and I'm like, my foot's not really hurting, but I'm like, I thought the board was attached to my shoe. I thought I'd gotten something lodged in my shoe. And I took my other foot and I tried to kick the board. And when I did, the foot it was attached to hurt. And then I saw something on top of my shoe. And I'm like, what the? When I reached down and touched it, my foot hurt. So I go hopping over to my grandfather, who had me hop inside. My grandmother got a bucket of salt water, Epsom salt, and basically the nail had gone completely through my foot.
Oh.
Ow.
In the bottom, out the top. But it was in the middle of my foot where there's nothing to hit. I didn't hit a bone or anything, so...
There was one time when I was
pulls it out, takes my shoe off, puts my foot in this bucket of salt water. I try to lift my leg out, and he just puts all his body weight on my knee, and I'm like, This is salt water cleans out the wound. By the time it closed, it was like this. It was too tiny to even stitch.
Huh. Yeah, one of my fun ones that I never even had to get medical attention for. I hadn't realized a sewing needle had fallen under my desk, and At one point, I was doing something on a in a game, and I'm like, why does my toe feel weird? And I look down, and I see the tip of the needle sticking out of the top of my sock. And I look at the other side, the tip of the needle is sticking out the bottom of my sock. And in between is a toe. And somehow, I had not realized that it'd stick it all the way through my toe. But once I tweaked it just a little bit, I'm like, oh, that goes all the way through. And then I had to just manually pull it out on my own. It's just like,
yeah, it's very weird. There are no nerve endings in the middle. So when it's sitting in the middle, it doesn't really hurt. Not unless you touch it.
Yeah. Until you move it, and then it's like adjusting everything. It's just like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to character creation rather than violent.
I did one time step out of bed and step on my belt buckle and got the little prong thing in my heel about that far.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
At an angle, no less. So it was not even like, oh, it hurt.
All right, so let's go to our fixer's favorite directives here. Your options.
I'm taking deceptive and protective.
Ooh, nice. So let's describe those. Deceptive, when your lies about your identity or your past put the mission at risk. Mark experience. Where's my directives questions here? So I know where I'm looking. Okay. And then protective, when you put your responsibility to blank ahead of the mission. Mark experience. So let's go with deceptive first. Deceptive. So, first and foremost, who wants you dead if they knew your true identity?
A lot of people.
Narrow it down a little bit.
North America. I know. Smaller. I got it.
Yeah. Name a person. You don't have to come up with a name. I can name generate it if need be.
Duncan Bowser.
Duncan Bowser?
Yeah.
All right, Duncan Bowser. I'll go with who he is later. I can explore who he is. What would it take to make you go straight?
A really pretty girl. Oh, wrong kind of straight. Sorry.
Wrong kind of straight.
I don't know if there is a good answer to that question. I really like what I do.
So instead of make you go straight, what would it take to make you return to your true identity?
Oh, that would be finding out the finding the real murderer.
Ooh. I guess on that same note, how can you clear your name?
Find the real murderer. Find the one-armed man. Find the real murderer.
How far will you go to clear it?
At this point, not very. I've been living under my aliases, plural, for so long, it's just kind of become second nature.
When do you not wear your mask?
When do I not wear my mask? By that you mean when am I not grifting? When am I not lying? When am I not?
Yes, when are you not using your cover identities, and don't have to worry about your covers and who's who and what's what.
Anytime I'm working with, probably anytime I'm working alone with Janine.
So I like the fact that the one person who's a liability in your team is the one person you can be truthful to.
Well, that's why she's a liability, is she knows the truth about me. So
And also
the reason I can't live without her is because she knows the truth about me.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right, Shane? The person who knows the most about me is going to be the one that's the biggest liability to me because she knows the most how to hurt me. Have you guys watched Blacklist at all?
Not in a long time.
Okay, so did either one of you watch any Blacklist?
Oh, yeah.
So you remember Mr. Kaplan?
Yes.
So the entire last season was basically about Mr. Kaplan disassembling Red's network because she literally knew where all the bodies were buried.
Wow.
She tried to help Liz escape. Red found out. Red got mad and tried to kill her. Left her for dead. She survived, and she promptly decided to destroy him.
Interesting.
And no, that wasn't the inspiration for this character. I just correlated it.
Yeah. So, protective. I'm going to assume when you put your responsibility to Janine ahead of the mission, mark experience. So how did Janine save your life?
I will say, basically when one of our first job together, she found out who I really was and still played alibi for me to get me out of a sticky situation.
And what corporations got their cyberware on Janine? And what did it cost her?
What's that?
What corp has their cyberware on Janine?
You know what? I'm gonna let you pick that one. Because I don't know what other cyber companies. Because we could use Rytel because they're the market share, but that just seems like a obvious. Maybe it's a cyber division of one of the other companies.
Save that for a moment and look back at my corpse here.
You're looking at a corpse?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah.
It's what it sounded. Did you hear corpse as well?
Yes.
I did after you said it.
CORPS. No E.
You know what? That's still one letter.
I'm torn because I almost want to say Genetifics has their own, as much as they're anti cyberware. It wouldn't surprise me if they have a hidden division that does cyberware.
So maybe they're not anti-cyberware as much as they're anti obvious cyberware. Like all of their stuff is like doesn't really augment strength or anything, but it's like replacement parts like eyes or bones or whatever that are cyber, but you don't know they're cyber. Like they're high end, replacements so that your eyes don't discolor or that your boobs don't set or whatever. You have cybernetic boobs that go zzz, back up to place.
So what did it cost, Janine?
I'm gonna go something completely outrageous, but it's perfect for Genetifics.
Go for it. I like outrageous.
And basically, it cost her both of her ovaries. Basically, she had to give up her eggs. apparently she was like the ideal genetic like pool to pull from, and so
she gave up her ability to bear children. Did she ever have a desire to bear children?
well, that I don't know, but it's not just her ability to bear children. They actually have her eggs, meaning they could be creating her children, genetic offsprings of her, and she not know it.
What company may be developing? Ooh, I have an awesome idea for that.
See, I knew you would. That's why I said I'm going kind of unique here, but I knew that it would give you a hook to play with, or multiple actually, because you can go in all sorts of directions with that. So,
All
as far as whether or not she, I will say that the discussion of whether she wanted to have children is not one that we've had because it's still a painful topic.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the inference is she might have wanted to have children, or maybe it was the decision was taken away from her before she ever really got to think about it. Either way, it's not something we've discussed at length.
So, going back to Shane.
Yes.
Going back to Cali.
I'm going to go for the easier one. If you want me to name generate your tutor, I will.
The tutor you can name generate, but I've been working on some of the names.
So your tutor's name was Wolfgang Tyler Lloyd.
Okay, that's great.
So what did he do as your last tutor to scar you?
So I think that like a lot of it was like mental scarring from being like 4 and 5 and having all these different faces.
Mm-hmm.
But as my parents burnt through these tutors trying to like help, they ended up like going through all of like the normal standard like good ones, and they got to the like just really extreme kind of tutors. And so like at this point they had become so engrossed in this that they weren't really caring, and so he was like physically abusive.
All right.
And that's what kind of like was the trigger then for my like violent outbursts, is that it was all those like pent up years of like emotional scarring then were triggered by this like last event.
Interesting. So going back to hierarchic, who would you never betray?
Ajax. He was the one like kid in my class who was also not particularly gifted, and so like I started to associate with him because I could always be like, well, look, mom, dad, like he's worse than I am. And so at first he was like a scapegoat, but over the years we became real good friends.
Nice. What's Ajax do now?
I think that he, even though he was in these like really high class places, he was unsuccessful. He didn't like he never placed into college eventually, and like now has been like I would say he's like kind of an unsuccessful like middleman trying to like bridge the gap for like low class people to try to like make contacts higher up the ladder. He tries to like do that semi successfully.
Can I add a nice hook to it?
Yes.
Because you can't betray him. He's also a lower level Alpha X employee.
Yeah. He's like, he does something really like menial though. Like it's not prestigious at all. Yeah.
He probably lives. So with one of the things I'm envisioning with the Alpha X island arcology, if you looked at the pictures, I don't think you're on the thing yet. So
yeah, I need to get on that thing.
It's its own island that's like a ocean volcano where just the tip is sticking out of the water, and then the central cone downward is all like buildings all the way down, and then there's a central spire that also has buildings on its edge, and like the upper management, the top 1% in Alpha X all live at the top where they can see the sun, and then all the grunts live at the bottom. So I could totally see Ajax being a bottom rung level, lives in the dark employee of Alpha X.
Yeah, but he still has like some connections from his like better days, so he tries to like leverage those and like get favors from other bottom rung people
Yeah.
by like promising them like, oh, I can get you to like move up, even though he usually doesn't deliver.
Deadbeat deal maker.
Yeah.
Deadbeat is all one word. I can type today. Awesome. So I think that covers all of that good stuff. I'm happy with where this is building up. I guess we're probably not going to get a third player today. So then we can make the discussion on naming, since I'm having trouble with it. And my brain only has so much creativity at the moment, and most of it's been pumping into building the world and not necessarily coming up with names for things. I can kind of see us, on some level, your pusher's going to be a bit of a leader, just by virtue of how the character works. So that'll be a fun, interesting thing. I have a feeling both of you are going to be what missions funnel through. It's either going to be connections through the fixture or connections through the pusher. Though it'll time from time be the killer or the hunter that gets something as well, just depending on how I draft up the mission. Though even still, it'll probably funnel through one of you two, because I bet you both have, if I remember getting the mission, it's edge that we roll. Hold on, let me see here. Journal. Player moves. Nope. Player moves 2. Get the job. Yeah, edge. So, whichever you two has the highest edge is probably going to be getting the mission.
Not me.
Definitely not you. You're going to have some interesting times. Oh,
I might need to switch my stuff around, because I have stuff it's... it says style. It's what I'm supposed to...
I'll look over... well, let's see here. Where's my playbooks? Playbooks... Where's my fix? Synth and Mind is what it's recommending for high. So, and then pusher. What do you get?
Edge and style.
Edge and Mind. Oh, it says. Oh, I'm looking at Reporter. So yeah, so missions are probably going to funnel through you as far as getting the mission, because well. We'll just see how the story plays out one way or the other. But the get the mission action, if you... I don't know if I've made it visible to everyone. Have I?
Yeah, because it says my stats sign, each one a number. Your style should be +1 or +2. So I'm assuming that means that's my primary.
Fixer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so... both of you will have high style.
Mm-hmm.
So, style... oh, yeah, style. Whereas get the job is edge.
Edge.
So, with get the job, this is the start of every mission. And when someone comes to you with a mission, you'll negotiate the terms. You'll row edge. At a 10+, you'll choose 3 from the list below. And at 7 to 9, you'll choose 1. The list is employer provides useful information, gain intel. Employer provides useful assets, gain gear. The job pays well, which means it'll be a normal mission, you gain double what you stake. A pay well mission means you gain triple. Next option is the meeting doesn't attract attention. And lastly, the employer is identifiable. So most of the time you may not even know who's employing you. It may get revealed throughout the mission, but we'll see. Yeah, that would be bad. That would be very bad. Let's see what, that's a +3. That's a very much fail.
I rolled a 1 and a 3 this time, and rolled a 1 and a 2 last time. So the random number generator of this thing sucks ass.
Does not like you. But you did roll 5 for style, of which would give you 7, which is a partial success.
Yeah, see, 1 + 2. There's no fucking way. Come on.
And then You rolled 10, or Shane rolled 10 for meat.
I must be doing something wrong because like I'm not rolling over. There we go. Finally rolled a something over a 3.
Well, your edge at 3 plus 3 with the -1 is still a fail, but
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying.
that last one would be an overwhelming success at least.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that.
So right now, with your edge at -1, you should probably not get missions, or they're gonna be very visible missions that everyone knows you're doing. Yeah,
Shane needs a picture.
that's 9. So you choose 1. So that's not bad.
Okay.
Gotta find a picture for you. I gotta and a name for your character.
Yeah, I know. I got to work on that.
Yeah, we got to name the adventure too.
Yep. So, name ideas. Feel free to shoot them out. I ended up renaming our greater city. If you look at our Trello channel.
Yeah, what happened with that?
I turned it to Tokyo Megaplex.
Right, I noticed that.
Our main name, and then I shortened it to CTM, which CTM was what I was doing anyways. The Bay Area side I called the Bay Area Metroplex. And then the Tokyo side I made the Tokyo Island Arcology.
Okay.
And then the one in the middle with Alpha X is the Alpha X Campus Arcology, which is our crazy looking island thing. So, overall, we got nice locations going on here.
So are we trying to name this particular mission, this particular episode, or this particular group?
What
are we naming?
The name I'm looking for is the name as a whole. It's The Sprawl Stories of X, or, something along those lines.
Beardpocalypse. I don't know. Wish I was a ginger? I don't know.
Yeah, but you're salt and pepper, man.
Oh, God, look at that.
Admittedly, I'm getting there slowly,
No,
but surely.
Look at this. This is the killer.
See, but for me, mine's red, and my hair's brown, so I get the weird opposite combo there.
At least it's finally evening out. It was this huge streak right here, and then like not really much.
I actually need to trim this down, which it's getting a little bit unruly, and I need to get into look professional mode soon. That'll be fun.
I'm actually gonna have to start growing mine out for Christmas.
Ah.
I volunteer to sub in for a jolly fellow. I don't want to give anything away in case some kids are watching the stream.
Hashtag Santa Man.
Yeah. Hashtag ho ho ho.
I almost want to do Subversion
As the name?
as the name. We're the Sprawl Subversion. Because most of our players here so far that I'm aware of, without having our other half of the team here, seem to be the ones living outside the system. Or trying to break the system, as the case may be. Our fixer lives outside it. Our pusher is trying to change it. Our killer brutally murders people. And our hunter tries to find them.
Right. To be fair, I don't know. Do we know that he brutally murders them? He could just kindly murder them.
Well, he could stealthily murder them too if he wants to make a cyber ninja. But I kind of like. Where's this? Go with the capital V in it for Subversion to get also kind of the technical side with its crazy versions of technology, and you've got your prototype eyes, you've got your broken.
Oh, wait. I've got it. Hold on. I got to type it out. I got to show it to you.
I like that one.
How about this?
Drum I'm torn on the all. I'm torn on the all caps.
Well, keep in mind, look at the logo. It is in all caps.
True.
So doing this is what it would look like.
I almost like. I like a combination thereof. Maybe something like the reverse.
Yeah, I was thinking subvert as opposed to subversion, but I mean I like it the other. That kind of works the other way. Let me see what mine looks like if I do it.
But I was also trying to sneak in version rather than vert. But
oh, look at that! I didn't know you could.
You can go back
no,
and
that's
edit.
fine. I didn't know. I didn't realize up edited. I'm okay with the sub. What do you think, Shane, of that last one?
Where are we looking?
Discord.
Discord.
Too many screens.
Trust me, I'm looking at 3 screens and I still have too many screens. Technically, if you count my Pixel C, I'm looking at 4 screens.
I like that last one, yeah.
And there's just like subverts.
Yeah.
I like the idea of versions being in there, though. I think that's clever.
Yeah, playing with it, I like the versions as well. I don't mind like with mine being subvert with all caps, but I like the little V on subversion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the subversion little V, and then we just got to come with a nice looking fancy logo for it. So cool. We got a name now.
I can work with that.
Awesome. I'm good.
I'll do something that ties into the look and feel of the. I do have to say, by the way, the music meter and the stuff at the top with the shadow really looks nice in the new overlay.
It's nice that I had a little bit of time to prep it this time, so it's all neat and settled.
I'll put this in the chat channel just in case for anyone who's.
Chat hasn't broken here.
Just in case somebody watches this on playback, they well, what would they finally decide on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have kind of discussed it too. Awesome. So,
right.
I guess with that regard, you're probably going to want to call it an evening and go say hi to Leah shortly, because I assume she's probably getting home soon.
Yep, she just walked in. She's just changing clothes. She just walked in.
Hi, Leah. So I guess we can wrap it up for the evening. Thank you everyone for joining us. Follow, subscribe, check out my YouTube channel, which I'm still working on a legitimate channel name, but for the time being, go here. /
Use command to open. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Open. Ah.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Nice. Very, very nice.
That's pretty sweet.
Yep.
Fig.
Check out my YouTube. Check out our Twitter. Follow the channel. Follow everyone else in this lovely stream. Hopefully next week we will have all 4 of our players. And we can finish out the last of our character generations. So thank you again for hanging out for our almost 2.5 hour stream here. I am Steel Seraph here, obviously, because you're on my channel. I'm Steel Seraph on Twitter and YouTube and pretty much everywhere else. So check me out there. Yeah, you'll probably have to give me a list, Fig. I've forgotten them all. Because, pro streamer. Shane, feel free to close out as you will.
I've got nothing.
All right. Thank you.
So I don't get to say anything at all?
Yeah, you're next. You're next. Don't worry.
What order are you going in?
The order I have on my screen right now. Jim, close this out.
I'm VidWizard, Vid with 2 Ds. You can find me everywhere. Pretty much Tumblr, Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, local mall, probably. Yeah. Definitely subscribe. Everything. Looking forward to finish out character creation. See if we can't get up a page or something with some details for the characters, so people can have a place to reference our background details.
Yep.
When they want to know a little bit more about us.
I'm actually trying to figure out a best place to put that. For the time being, it may just be. I'm not a big fan of Obsidian Portal because it's a little bit finicky, but we'll figure something out. Regardless, if anything, we can come up with just a simple page to host that kind of stuff. But
yep.
In any case, thank you all for watching. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you all next week. Later.